Welcome to the Codes of Sisterhood, a sacred space for women to unlock the codes of connection, belonging, and feminine power. Here, we are rewriting the story and remembering what it means to rise together. We are a collective of women gathering to raise the frequency of the feminine, to code what is possible for those who will come after us. This is legacy work for the women who came before, for the women who are here now, and for the women who are yet to come. Welcome, sisters. You found your way home. This is the Codes of Sisterhood. And today, my name is Maria Diaz, and today we are so excited to have this conversation with you about income generating gifts. And, we often think about when we're growing up, we're often thinking about different careers and different things we can learn in school that we can take on. But at the same time, there are gifts that we're all born with. There are certain things that we know how to do innately, intuitively, and we often disregard those for, taking on certain careers that are either expected of us or that sound good or that are gonna be income generating. And so a lot of the time we leave those gifts to the side. And today we want to talk about those gifts. We want to talk about those of us who have the courage to build businesses around those gifts, instead of going to get a job or, finding whatever already exists for us to use as part of what we do for work. And so we want to have a conversation because it has been, like, for me, it has been confronting at times. As somebody who chose to become a coach, I attach my business, its success, and what it looks like, and all of it to my value as a human being. And a lot of the time it has been challenging to separate those, to know that I'm building a business and the value of the business is not a reflection of my value as a human being. And so we wanted to bring this conversation to all of you because we're all in this group, and all our sisters, we're all building businesses that have to do with our gifts. We're coaches, healers, mentors, muses. And so, I wanted to invite us all to have a conversation. Welcome, and thank you for joining us today.
Hi, thank you for that, Maria. My name is Linda Barnett, Linda Krause Barnett, and I love this conversation so much because I think that the world I grew up in is different than the world I'm shaping, helping to shape in my womanhood. And that's triggering AF. And also, like, how cool that I'm building a reality that is a total trajectory from, like, the lineage of women that come before me. It's like it's just and almost it's like full circle. Actually, it's not just like a detour. I feel like it's full circle because I feel like if I could go back and back and back and back, um there would be healers in my family. There would be mystics in my family. Like, I know that's in my feminine lineage. I just know it. But then it just has been forgotten. And I honestly feel like it starts back with me again. Like, I'm the remembering of what once was. And I'm proud of that. And also terrified of that because we use the term income generating gifts, and that to me is like the goal of this lifetime. How can I generate abundance through my God-given talents and gifts, the way I see the world, my perspective, my medicine, my woo-woo, my magic, like, and that's the other thing is, like, some of those really high frequency words that I connect to so deeply are triggers for a lot of people walking this planet. So it's like, and you can see it when you say it, when you use it, when you stand behind a business that's like priestess, goddess, muse, magic. Everybody's like, it's not taken. There's a realm of people that don't exist in that frequency that don't take it seriously. And up until this point, they have really been the leaders. And now, as the modern day witches reclaim their place, there's this adjustment to the words, to the frequencies, to the truth. And it's like, are we able to stand up and say, you know, not the elevator speeches, not the shit I can't stand. Like, can you describe yourself in one line? No, I actually cannot describe myself in one line. And frankly, I'm starting to refuse to try because it's ridiculous to think that I can be captured in one line. Like, I'm not one line. I'm not one anything. I'm this energy of beingness that encapsulates so much. And that in of itself, to be able to say, like, oh, what do you do? Or how about who am I? And I'm a writer, I'm an author, I'm a muse, I'm a goddess, I'm a priestess, I'm magic. That's what I really want to say. And the truth is, that's not always how I present myself because I'm terrified of what that would mean. Does it mean that, I can, that I'm full of myself, or does it mean that I have special gifts, or does it mean I have gifts I'm willing to claim because they're not really special because we all have them? And just this round and round conversation about women who know their greatness and are they able to stand in conviction and embodiment of it? Because would that generate the income we desire? Like, I guess that's the conversation today.
Oh my God, it's so many things actually came up for me when you were saying that. And the first thing that came up to me, it's a witch wound. Because most of the um, money generating gifts are gifts in a very metaphysical form, right? We are living in such a logic-based world where everything is about logic, credentials, papers, and I've been like that. I've been chasing credential and papers for most of my good part of my life. Let's say that, and I was attaching that to my worth as well. It's like, okay, so I can do that when I have something to prove that I am good at it. So this is a paper, and there you go, and I can prove it, right? And this is going into like claiming the things that are naturally in you, things that cannot be described with a sentence. This is absolutely incredible. But I think that the fear that we all have comes from two places. First of all, is because it's going against the mainstream stream kind of thinking of logic and of credential, but also because those incredible gifts, like like healers, like mentors, like being able to read people, to feel people, to see things that maybe not so easy to see by others. um, they're all connected to this immense feminine power that was squashed. And I think still on a cellular level, we keep holding on to that, and there is this fear that is coming up for us, and we just afraid of being punished, by really stepping into it and really claiming it, um, and not being perceived as woo or crazy, or yeah, metaphorically now said, like burn on the stake, right? So I think there's a lot to do with that as well.
That's really powerful what you both have said. Um, for me as well. So I have something else. added to that for you too is more in the metaphysical and being able to create, even being able to create content so people can grasp what your work is about. And I know that that can be really challenging at times, like you said, because we live in a world that's more masculine based, that's more logic and facts, and it doesn't always include the magic. For me, it has also been the fact that as an entrepreneur, there's so many things in the background. Like I'm a coach, but I'm not just the coach. I'm also the back end, the customer service, the sales, the marketing, the social media, the design, copyright, finances, like everything. And then learning all these different apps so that I can use and complete and do all of these different things. And so it's for me, one of the things that really held me back before in my coaching business was like, well, I don't know how to do all this back end stuff. And me and, you know, things like how to create graphics and use Canva and, the technological parts of the business, I had such a block in before. I was like, I just don't know how to do it. And I would stop at that. And it occurred to me like it was going to be so challenging to learn. And so being in community and being in a sisterhood and creating community really, really shifted that for me. Because not only did I have others that I can lean on, I saw some of my sisters doing the things that I wanted to do, creating the graphics and all of this. And I'm like, okay, so if they can do it, I can do it too. So that's something that we really want to always bring across in every episode is that if we can do it, you can do it too. Like, because we often feel alone. And that's, for me, that has been a block, is feeling alone and doing it alone. And having an overwhelm as to all the different roles that it actually takes. And aside from everything I just read to you, is also being the CEO and the strategist of your company. So it's so many different components. But when we come across, when I come across, I just come across as a coach. And people often don't have any idea of all the amount of hours and work that go behind saying, I this is my offering for what I do. The other part for me that, as I mentioned in the beginning of the call, is I was collapsing my value as a woman and my worthiness as a woman and as a human being with the results that I have in my coaching business. So, as somebody whose coaching business is still growing and expanding, and it's not very well established yet, every time that something doesn't work or something falls apart, it I always connected it. I used to connect it to, oh, I'm just not good enough at this, instead of separating the fact that those actions that I took or the way that it was created failed. And then I can just revisit, I can learn from it, I can gain wisdom, I can pivot, and I can try something different. Because really, being an entrepreneur is a game. It's truly putting yourself out there time and time again, knowing that some of the actions that you take are going to fail, and that you can just learn from them, regroup, and pivot into something else. And actually, the failures that have happened in my coaching business have taught me a lot and have expanded my capacity to be able to hold this business. The other thing for me was the fact that some aspects of my business deal with sexuality. And so there's a lot of banning happening. There's a lot of things I cannot express in my copyright and in my social medias because of the fact that it's labeled as sexual content. And so it gets taken down, or like my Facebook account right now, it's very limited. I don't have access to share with everyone on on there because of the fact that my posts have been flagged. Whereas for me, I coach women also in the area of sexuality and sensuality from the aspect of their leadership, living authentically from their truth and gaining their power back and connecting back to their bodies. And so these are some of the things that we all deal with at times when it comes to running a business, being an entrepreneur, and honing our gifts and bringing out the things that we're so deeply passionate about, that we were born with, that were given to us, so that we can bring something powerful forward into the world. And so yeah, that's those are some of the things that in the past have stopped me or blocked me. And as I continue to grow and expand, I continue to grow my capacity to hold all of that and then find other ways. And I no longer uh, attach anything that fails in my business to who I am as a human being or who I am as a woman. And I think that for me, that has been a um, huge thing that I've been transforming. And of course, things always come up, but now that it's in my awareness, I'm continuously saying, okay, how can I separate those? Because that's not the same. So I invite anyone listening to us to take on, hearing things from the things that we have learned and the things that we're still always learning and overcoming, um, and to know that you're not alone. And being an entrepreneur it takes a lot of courage.
I'm going to jump in here. I love what everybody's been saying. Bringing it back to the just accessing your gifts for everybody. Hi, I'm Marta. Yeah, Linda, I saw your text be like, say your name, Marta. I'm Marta Napoleon Mazzoni. Hello, everyone. I struggle with this. It is fascinating. It's fucking fascinating to me that I feel two things. Number one, when I went to high school and I went to the guidance counselor, it was like, here are your options for what you want to do in life. And there's no shadowing anybody, there's no like checking out experience. It's like choose a subject and go to college. With and there's no real massaging of what naturally comes up in children. And I think this is what this comes back to. And honestly, I get so pissed off about it. I feel like it is different now. I feel like it is shifting. But for me, if that was something that when we were kids, that would have been nurtured, like that would have been something that we looked at and how cool would it be if you took a test in school that didn't measure your intelligence, but it measured what you were like naturally good at? Like, that's just sexy to me. Like I would want to take that test and be like, what are you naturally good at? Like, what rings true for you? What do you gravitate towards? Like, what comes out naturally in you that's a gift? And for me personally, what I am struggling with, and I don't want to say struggling with, but I have more awareness on, and I'm so thankful to be in a place where I have more awareness on this. It is overlooking the things that are just easeful to you. And that's something for me that it's almost like I devalued them. Like, it's almost like I devalued them because it's we devalue, and I'm talking to me right now, like I'm talking to Marta. I devalue what I already have, like what is already inside me, what I worked to get in my past that I don't even remember or celebrate that I have achieved. Like the thing that was once hard that is now easy that we overlook. And for me personally, that's like my intuition, my ability to problem solve, my ability to see a bigger picture, like, you know, my ability to speak, my ability to act, my ability to sing, my ability to dance, like my ability to all of these gifts that I kind of put in a box and write a value on the box. So I'm curious if any of you other ladies do this. Like imagine like you put your gifts in a box and you wrote a value on that box. And then there's another box in a corner that's all the gifts that are like, we think we can get paid for. We think that we need to belong. We think that we, you know, are socially acceptable in society. We think that we won't get judged for. We think that they'll make the money. Like all of these gifts are in a different box. And that box has a higher value than the box that's been collecting dust in our corner, in our childhood bedroom, in our closet, next to our pound puppy. You know, like it's just wild to me. And for me personally, like I am on, it's a reminder, it's a remembrance, really. And this episode, like this podcast episode, I truly hope that anyone listening to this and all of us here, like all of us ladies, just remember that. Like that's the takeaway that I want people to remember, like that your gifts that you already have that are easeful to you, that you can't see clearly because they're yours, someone else wants them. I was just talking with a client about like being on a pedestal, putting other people on a pedestal, and we don't see what they've gone through, and we don't see where they were, and we don't see ourselves in them. Like we only see what we want. We only see what we're craving. We only see what we're jealous of. We only see what we're envious of. We only see their success, and we negate our own. Like we negate our own gifts. And that's just wild to me. So I love that this is the subject today because this feels like I'm cracking it open even more. Like I feel like, you know, when we're on the cusp of something and it's like, oh, just it feels so close to being embodied. It feels so close to being like, I surrender. And that's the last thing I'm going to say that came through for me. I feel like you almost need to get to the point where you're just so fucking tired that you surrender, that you're like, I'm good. All right. I accept. Like, we fight so hard to belong. We fight so hard to be accepted. We fight so hard to build a business. And then it's like, why am I fighting so hard? Why can't I just live with the gifts that I have and the beauty of them and the magic that they make and the mystery and the miracles? Like, why? So I love that this is the topic. Love it. And thank you all for listening.
Thank you for speaking, Marta. I'm Alicia Siegel, and I just that the surrender, like you get so tired that you surrender. I don't know if I would put those into that words exactly, but it's the let go, let God moment. You know, like I am not in control here. Like I've been trying to use the gas pedal and the steering wheel and pay attention to all the lines and like decide if I'm flying or decide if I'm in a car that travels on the ground or am I in a boat? Like all these different parts when it's really, we can't humanly handle all those parts, which um, kind of segues me into I feel the importance of this group, this podcast crew that we've made, and the groups that we've branched into this podcast from. We are not alone, and we've never been alone. But I tend to operate in this hyper individualist mindset where I've got a plan and I really want everyone to care about the trajectory of the plan. And for those of you that are watching, we had a very logistical part of our call before this, which got us all aligned with caring the same amount about the plan. And it's so important to be able to trust in each other to implement an idea. But what do we do when there's no each other? What do we do when it's just us making something happen on our own? Frankly, I'm tired. I'm exhausted of just me entrepreneuring it and doing it on my own. I've been doing it on my own making money from my gifts since I was really little. I started selling candy in high school or middle school. I had a candy business in middle school and I made tons of money doing this. And anytime someone wanted to come in with me, I was like, I don't want to share my profits. Like there was this like super competitive part of me. And that competitive part of me is part of the sister wound, not wanting to share. My husband, he's so great. And he says that like our biggest problem on earth is that none of us know how to share. If you were reading a book on your very special couch and on your very sacred day, while the snow was falling outside, you have your coffee. And I came up and said, can I have that coffee? No, that's my coffee. Or can I read your book? What, like, you just take your book, and then your mom's over there being like, share. Like, we're not good at that, you know? But we expect our children from a very young age to just pick it up, but we're not until we try. And that's what we're doing here on this podcast is very successfully coming together and making something happen as a group. And I can tell you all of the experiences I've had up until now. I've always made money off of my gifts. I was a yoga teacher, a massage therapist from age 19. I decided that like I got to make money from my gifts, but it was like an artist wage. Like I had built myself a beautiful life. So just wanting right now to clarify and distinguish, like we all have probably, I'm imagining we all have really great lives where our ends, that where we have what we need to make ends meet in our lives. And this is why we can be entrepreneurs and try to make money off of our gifts. Making money off of our gifts is different than having a wildly abundant life. And I realize as Marta is talking that my gifts have been in a box, not because I devalue them, but because I value them so highly that I don't just want to give them to anybody who's listening. I want to make sure that I'm delivering these gifts to people who are going to love them and cherish them. And I've been holding my gifts so close to my heart that I can't even see them lately. Like for the past 5 years, I like decided I have this marketing box, and the marketing box is like where I can make money helping other people, like giving energy to other people. And that's great. And I think it was Linda earlier in the call, you said, I can help anybody. Like I'll promote for anybody. I'm really the same. Like if they're aligned with my mission and they value me and they're loving me and affirming me and doing all the things that help me feel like a magical being, I will help and help and help. And I will be so happy about that. And I think my block for like not promoting my business, which is infinitebliss.life. There's a lot in my business that's been building for the past 25 years. But it's still a little baby, it's still a little nugget. And I don't want to do it alone. I don't know if I've met the people who want to do it with me. I think my husband might be there to do some of it with me, but we're not even quite there yet. So if I've been in a relationship for 10 years with someone who appears to be very soul aligned, but isn't quite aligned enough to care about it like I do, like, what's it going to take for me to meet those people that want to align and care about the thing and help me energize so I can help them energize? Like this teamwork part, I feel like is missing in our movement to share our gifts with the world as entrepreneurs. And I just love having this conversation to open those boxes up. Like I hope it's opening for our listeners, like boxes in you that are like, who are the people in my life that care directly and deeply about the same things that I care about? How can we team up? Because this world doesn't need just me sitting in front of a phone talking to my screen and telling people inspiring stories about my life. It maybe does need that, but not just that. So thank you so much, you guys, for creating the space that we can all come together and talk about this. And I have a feeling that this podcast is the beginning of something much bigger, like a whole movement. I've been having my sights on a movement since well before our mentor Melanie and Lair created the movement. I've always known that Infinite Bliss is not just a thing. It is a movement and it is world shaking. And I know that you all have your own versions in your lives too. Right.
Alicia, you and I have been on this like the boom. We've been in multiple meetings together today, and I feel like we are on like I'm gonna piggyback her because I took notes. But I was bursting, and she touched on so many things. It's like the perfect thing for me to go after her. But there's so many things that came up. And one of them is this concept of like, I'm like going to contradict my own words if you allow me to. But at the beginning, when I said like all these triggering words that you use and people don't understand it and they give you that look, and then you're like, as soon as you see that look, you're like, oh. And I want to start there because here's the thing. It's like a problem I've created because I expect them not to understand. And so what I do is I convince, I prove, I like force. And I'm like, if I just tell you more and more and more and more, that look will transform. It will like, woo, I'll see the change in you where you go from like confused to adoration to from like I don't understand you to oh my gosh, I get you. And then it's like this I'm just blah, 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 blah. It becomes like Charlie Brown. And the truth in a deeper, deeper way is like less is more in this case. And it's like, I'm Linda and I work with the invisible arts. And then I close my mouth. And here's the thing. If that means nothing to you and you have no other curiosity on it, then I will instantly know. And there's no need to prove, there's no need to seek your validation because if I could say something like that and you don't want any more information, then we already are on two different trajectories. Like you're already misaligned to me and I'm misaligned to you. So there would be no energetic like win in that case, versus if I said something like, oh, my name is Linda and I work with the invisible arts, and you lean in. You're not convinced necessarily or like understanding, but you're curious. You felt something. Something inside of you was like, huh, wait a minute. I want to know what you're talking about. And we don't allow people to lean in and like, what are the invisible arts? Oh, it's like what you can see when your eyes are closed. Are there any more questions? And then lean in again. Like, what do you mean what I could see when my, and that it's like, if you go on a date and you're like, so let me start with when I was 1 year old, you wouldn't do that and like tell your whole life from the very beginning in hopes that this partner will be like, well, I've heard enough. I love you. It's like you give a little and then the next date you give a little more and a little more. And I feel this fear in me not to like dose out my magic because I want to know right away that you understand and that I've convinced you and that it's good and that you look at me with love and I know that I'm doing something that's important. But it's like maybe that's not it. Maybe that's not the vibe. And then what that brought up for me was this whole there's two things it brought up for me. One was this concept of like does like it's not just what we're good at, but it's also what we want. Like, isn't it okay to want things and then practice? Like, we think we have to be good at everything without trying to do, like, I want to DJ. I want to do things that I have no idea how to do. But but I still get to want them and I maybe even get to try them and I maybe even get to practice them until I'm good at them. Like there's no expectation 2020 yes Saga. And so when I met my first mentor, my first like intro into personal development, she was on a stage. I met her online. All her videos lit me up. Every time she opened her mouth I was like, you were changing me from the inside out. Then I went to her live event and she was standing on the stage and everybody was clapping. And it wasn't a clap like, oh, pedestal. It was like, I love you. I love what you say. I love how you've changed me. And I remember thinking like, I want that. I want to be her. my version, but like I wanted the whole thing. It's the moment I knew I was going to leave teaching and like start my business was inspired by her. And like sometimes that's okay too. Like I just see women standing in positions of power or of creativity or of entrepreneurship or whatever, and that feels good to me and I want to try. Like we're so worried about being good that we're forgetting how to try the things we want to do. And the like there's this perfectionism thing that just doesn't give you room to play. And then the last thing I want to say, it's like it's so funny because we've been calling our these things gifts on the whole call. And while we're calling them gifts, we're talking about all the reasons why they can't make money and we're scared of them and we put them in boxes and like, and in and of itself, the word gifts, like God handed us something unique to us, obviously for a reason, like, or we would just be clones, like everybody would be the same. But that's not how it is. It's a gift that inspires you, that is for you. And if not to use, then for what? Why do we have it? Like, why are we making excuses for wanting to use something that was gifted to us? It's like handing your kid a gift for the holidays and being like, I'm not sure. Am I supposed to play with this toy? Are you sure? Is it okay? Is that what you meant? Is it selfish of me to want to do that? Like you give a gift and then the biggest joy is when you watch someone enjoy it. When you watch someone just like want to eat the food or play with the toy or like as the giver of the gift, you just want to see pure bliss come out of the receiver. And I imagine God sees us that way like rock the shit out of your gifts. Play with them, have fun with them, make money with them, talk about them. That's why I gave them to you. And I feel like sometimes when God looks at me, he's like, wow, you're like all up in your head about a gift. Like you didn't even have to make it. I gave it to you. Just and all I asked you to do was like go out and use it and play with it. Like what is all this? And we're afraid to make money because it's like we my dad was an artist. He didn't make a dime off his art. He was the best artist. He was pure like soul artist. And I was taught like creativity is not what pays. It's a hobby. So I'm here today as the representative of calling bullshit on beliefs that no longer serve our highest and greatest good. Our gifts serve our highest and greatest good. Our desires serve our highest and greatest good. Sharing them with the world serves everyone's highest and greatest good. And if my mentors didn't come out in full conviction on their gifts, I would be a whole different person right now. And who is out there waiting for me?
I amen to that, Linda. Literally. And it's so funny because listening to all of you now, I just realized really that conversations about what I just realized last week, and I actually shared with you one of our kind of private calls, my big breakthrough of like me being afraid of actually being fully me not feeling safe of kind of stepping fully into my brilliance, my magic, my power, my light. It was like, oh my God, because it's blinding others. Like if it's blinding, I should, I should dim it. But that's the point. Like you said, it's for us to fully take it, to fully play with it, and it's also for others. It's a gift. Your magic, your power, your light is a gift. It's a gift for you. It's a gift for the world. And that's it. Because for you, because you can be full you. Everything that you always meant to be, everything that you always felt that is there, and wants to come out. So you can be just fully and authentic and unapologetic, standing in your conviction and your truth. And what's more beautiful than that? And this is healing to the world, but also it's a permission for others to be that too. Each and one of us has different gifts, so we can light other parts within each other. And so we can come back more and more and more to who we are, to become who we always been, right? And if we don't use that, there are those parts that they don't have a light. So this blinding light is necessary. And sometimes, yes, it might create some, traction and rejection, because it's like, oh Jesus, like it's too much. But even this too much is already doing something for those hidden parts, of the people that might reject you, might get angry with you. And that's what I was afraid of, because like Marta was saying, we had this since we were kids. We all did. But because when we were kids, sometimes we're like, oh my God, you just weirdo. You are weird. Or people like, would get angry at you. It's like, oh yes, like it has to be you again. It's like, it's not about that, right? It's just you were good at something and you're good at something and that's it. And or people would, yeah, just completely like reject you. And so we kind of developed the fear of that. And I definitely did. And I just realized that there was so many parts of me that I was just afraid of fully showing still, because I didn't feel it safe. But now I'm claiming it. I'm here and now I'm claiming it. I'm claiming full me. It is safe. It is safe to be me. It is safe to be fully me. It's safe to claim my brilliance, my magic, my beauty, my wisdom, my medicine. It is safe and it's healing for me, for the world. It is for me, for you, for us, for everybody. And the more of us will stand into that in full conviction, unapologetically, the world is just gonna open up in a completely different level. And yeah. So if you're listening and if you feel that, it is safe. It is safe. And say that to yourself. It is safe. And even if someone rejects you, it is safe, because you can learn how to stand in your truth even deeper. Even if the circumstances are not favorable, you can still love yourself, you can still take care of yourself, you can still stand in that conviction. And for the people that rejected you, there is a seed. There is a tiny speck of light that came to those parts that are still hidden, and it will grow. So let it.
Can we just all have a moment of like, it's safe to be me? Aga, that was so sexy. Like,
Mm.
like so sexy. Yeah. Isn't it so funny that the pieces of who we are in the spaces that aren't seen, like the private spaces, are usually our fullest expression. Like those are our fullest gifts. The subjects we talk about in places like, like in the private places, those are actually the things that we are so scared. Like those gifts, those things are scared to be seen. I know for me personally, talking about spiritualism is terrifying for me. Like my gift, my intuition, my spirit, like my ability to see people in their fullest expression and bring that out is impossible for me to like get over that hump. And it's so wrapped up in like the shame of it all. Like just being ashamed of it. And you're right, like not feeling safe. Like not feeling safe at all to be our fullest expression and to go after what we want. And I love, and I forget who said it, Linda, I think you said it, where it was like what we actually want. It isn't it a strange balance. Like on one hand, it's like, yep, you know what? We might devalue our gifts. Like we might put them in a box. And then it's like, yep, you know what? I have these gifts and I'm good at these gifts. but do I actually want to use them just because I'm good at them? Like, just because I'm good at them, do I have to put them out there? Or can I keep them for myself? And then on the other hand of that, it's like, do I want to keep that for myself, or do I want to share them with the world? It's a wild ride. There's so many nuanced aspects of it. And I think for me personally, it is a wave. Like, it feels like another door unlocks every single time. Once I get to a certain place, it's like I open a door and then it's the next hurdle of whatever is standing in the way of that. And I don't know. I love this conversation. I love it. I hope it's one that we come back to so often on this show. Like, I hope it's one that if people listening are like, oh my God, yes. Oh my God, yes. I did a course last year of like awakening your superpowers. And it just feels so lovely to be able to gift that to someone else, because that's you showing up as your most authentic self. Like Linda said about a mentor. Like, if that mentor had never embraced her gifts, Linda would never have received what they had to say. And it's
Mm-hmm.
the same, like, it's the same. I talk about grief a lot, but it's the same about grief. Like, people don't know how to show up for people that are grieving. And it's like, hi, show up in your fucking gifts. They don't have to look like anybody else's gifts. If you can write a poem. If you can draw a picture. If you are financially like abundant, send some money. Send a gift card. It doesn't have to look the same, but it's unique to you, and we don't do that. And therefore, we deny ourselves connection with other people. Like, we deny ourselves friendship. We deny ourselves that deep intimacy that we are all craving. So when we can stand in it, like that fullness of who we are, it just feels so, so lovely. So lovely.
Mm. Mm-mm.
Guys.
Mm. Yeah, like I just want to dive in. It does feel lovely to be able to share what we are, and it just created a question in me of like, um, why is that so challenging to do? And I'm like called back to like, I don't know how many generations back, but women were only allowed to be teachers or secretaries. Those were the choices. And now we're allowed to ask people to give us money to share our gifts. And I really do, this is going to be a short share, but I think that we've evolved into being people who ask to receive money to share our gifts, because it's like asking for permission to bestow something upon someone, because I know in social settings, like I am just like a wisdom fire hose, and it's not always well received by the people who are in my field. It's not wanted. And there's a line in the Bhagavad Gita that says to be very cautious about sharing wisdom with people who are not ready for it. Um, and I just calling back to what I said earlier, I want to make sure that I'm sharing things with people that are ready for it, because I don't want to lead people astray. Like someone might hear an idea of mine and run completely into a wall because they don't realize they need to open the door themselves. So I can't do the door opening. And I'm grateful that we have the choice to be able to ask people to pay us for our services. It's easier for me when it's like I'm teaching you to do yoga, put your elbow in this position, put your shoulder in this position, now move your hips in this way. Like let's let's dance for XYZ amount of time. When it's just like, let's talk for a few minutes, you go live your life for some time, and we'll come back and talk again, and let me know how that transforms you. I'll let you know how it transforms me. This intangible guidance, I need people to ask for, and I want to offer it. And there's just so much there that's like new. And I've just been seething to mention the war on happy people. There's this war on people who are trying to spread the light, because so many people just want to dive into their shadows and work through their darkness. And the the tenacious courage that it takes to be someone that is like, I am a warrior of light. I will take you through the light. We will explore the darkness as it shows up, but for the most part, I am a warrior of light. Like that, there's so much anticipatory energy that comes in that way. So that's kind of what I have to add in that way is that it's hard work to do this coaching that we're doing. It's weird work because it used to happen around like washboards, and sewing machines. And maybe it hasn't always been well received by neighbors, but we haven't been able to actually go out there into the world and find our people in the way that we can now. We can live stream and literally anybody in the whole entire world could someday see that live stream. Like our reach is incredible. So we're just in a really unique time, and I'm glad that we're at the forefront of having these conversations that I really do believe will heal the world. Yeah, one relationship at a time.
I just want to pop in and say there were so many truth bombs in there, and thank you, Alicia. Oh my God.
There's a quiet. The truth bombs are landing. Guys, oh my God. You know what? Listeners, sisters, oh my God, it's one thing I want to say to you. It took me 41 years to realize I'm not fully myself. So don't wait that long, okay? Or just don't wait any more days or any more minutes. Just be loud, be brave, be ridiculously yourself, be the truth and wisdom fire hose. Just be you, be blinding, be like unapologetic, just be all of it. Because it's a gift, it's a blessing, and it's a permission for everyone.
Oh, what an episode. I love everything that everyone has shared. And before we go, I just want to say that for all of you who think you're too much, you're too weird, you're too crazy, you're too unreasonable. For those of you sisters who are looking at other sisters and comparing yourself and thinking, how am I going to get there? They're better than me. They're doing it all. I don't know how. For those of you who are feeling like you're behind, like you need to still learn so much more, that your gifts are not powerful enough to transform someone else's life. For those of you who are afraid of the unknown and of your own gifts, we say, have the courage. You don't know what your smile, your gift, your presence, your energy, your essence means to another human being. You could walk around sharing your gifts and save a life, literally. So don't wait. Courage is doing things even when we're afraid. Stepping into the unknown even when we're afraid and we don't know. And I want to take on Aga's mantra for all of us. I am safe. You are safe. And the other thing is that when other people see us in our light, when other people see us passionate, doing our gifts, being lit up, being alive, and being fulfilled, it gives others the permission to do the same. The mantra that I created for myself in my coaching business is, Maria, I always ask myself this: what is more human than to hold another human with everything I got And that's my commitment, to hold another human with everything I got, even when I'm scared, even when it seems unreasonable. And I know that that spreads so much love, so much light, and so much transformation and power out there. I know other leaders have come before us who have done that. And because of that, we heard a sentence, we heard a podcast, we heard somebody speak, and it lit us up and it gave us permission to be in our own powers. So, sisters, this is your permission slip to be in your power. Thank you for joining us inside the Codes of Sisterhood. May you carry these codes into your life, seeing, loving, and rising with your sisters. Until next time, remember, we rise by remembering who we are together. We love you.